What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. It's your girl Cass, and I'm here today with artist Truth Ali. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us here today at the Noise Factory Studios, located in El Cajon on West Lexington Avenue.
Yeah.
First off, I want to say how I came across your page and everything. Is I seen a video and it was like the Star Trek theme, and it was like the words are coming, and I was like, wait, who is this? Is this a movie? What's going to be going on? What's being promoted? And I clicked on it, and it was lyrics. It was an artist.
Yeah.
So it was Somewhere in Ocean Beach.
Right.
Let's talk about that song and what made you come with the concept of that video as well.
Well, I'm originally from Bakersfield, which is, I don't know how if people know about it, it's like an hour and a half north of LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually came out here to go to the Art Institute in July 2011. And I've dealt with depression and I've attempted suicide even before. And so before I moved here, I was just battling this depression, but it was something about San Diego, just the vibe, everybody here just always in good spirits, and the energy is great. And the first spot I hit was Ocean Beach, and it was that moment where I was like, yo, I think I'm good, I found myself, so to speak. And so I try to go there. I don't live there anymore, but I try to go there at least once a week, just to kind of it's just a special place for me. And so I felt like it was only right. And this is my other hometown. I had to do something to pay homage for it.
Yeah.
I have a saying. I always say, Baco made me, but Dago saved me. You know what I'm saying? So it's I had to do a record about that and just kind of turn a negative into a positive, so to speak. You know what I mean?
I read one of the quote too when you said that how Baco made you, Baco saved you. You also, I'm going to quote you again. You say you have a way of making pain beautiful.
Right.
Does that come in with your depression and just accepting, going with everything? How do you
absolutely
put that in terms for us?
If you look at a lot of the greatest artists, they in some form or fashion they kind of a tormented soul. You know what I mean? But that's where they pull from, and that's where they make that beautiful music. So I always felt like God put His hand on me. He was I went through some things and it sucked at the time, but I wouldn't change it because it gave me stuff to write about. And I think that music is the most powerful thing in the world. You look at, for instance, I did a show in 2013. I opened for E40,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to go by Truth the Brainchild as opposed to Truth Ali. And I had a song that I did called Lost, which kind of similar content, talking about depression and stuff. And when I came off stage, this girl came up and she was just mascara smeared, crying. And I was just that was the first time that happened.
Did it move your heart?
Yeah.
I would have moved my heart. I would have started crying too. Oh,
I
girl,
was damn, you know what I mean? And I guess she had attempted suicide. She had cuts and a tattoo over her cuts. And she was just you have no idea how much that meant. And so for me, that's beautiful. You a warrior. You made it through. And my way of expressing that is through music. So you know what I mean? That's where the beauty comes from, I guess.
There's one song that I also came across. The Accidentally on Purpose. How many times have you accidentally on purpose? You guys have to go to his page, Truth Ali on Facebook. It's just it spells truth and then Ali, but accidentally on purpose. I was like, don't tell me this is one of them scumbag songs. Clicked on it. It got some move to it. My ass was jumping to it, but then I was like, man, let me listen to the lyrics again. But how many times have you accidentally on purpose?
I ain't gonna lie. When I moved to Dago,
hold on, and like you said, motivation. There's certain things that motivate an artist to make a song. So where'd you get the motivation for that?
San Diego. When I first lived here, it was I got a spot in Dago. First place I lived, I had a small studio apartment in Mission Valley, and so I was just I'm gonna conquer everything here. And so I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of different one night stands, and it was just everybody. When you young, you know what I'm saying, you out there, you having fun, and you in a new city, and it's just that's just what happens. I'm a dude. And
did it happen after a week, or is there just that one accident on purpose? You woke up and you're out the door by, boom, accidentally on purpose, and you just started writing about it.
That was it. The majority of that concept definitely came from one person. We won't say no names or nothing like that, but.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
Accidentally on purpose.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, well, yeah, I had to ask him. That was actually my first question, but I wanted to start with your most recent song, Somewhere in Ocean Beach. Also, the Truth featuring Tara James.
Yeah, she's actually from Dago too.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to look her up.
Yeah, she's sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like she's only like 19 or 20. I think she just moved to like Atlanta. But I actually discovered her through a friend. He was like, "Yo, I know this girl, and she could like sing." And I get that like all the time. I'm like, whatever, you know. And then he showed me this video of her. She was doing something at like a Motown tribute, and like I was like, whoa, like she sound like the old school singers. I gotta get her. Cause I've been trying to find that for a minute, like trying to get like that big gospel sound.
I have an artist for you.
Word?
I don't know her name, but I discovered her researching this studio.
Oh,
and I found her
man.
on the Instagram page for this studio. I'll tag you on it. Oh my god.
Please do.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk about Tara again.
Nah, so like, and then she had never been to the studio, so she came in. We went to which I forget, it's a studio in Golden Hill, but she came in and was like super nervous and was like she was singing quiet. She was just like, I was like, relax. So whatever, we wrapped the session, and then she came back I think 2 days later, and she was still nervous. I was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna loop the song over and over. We're gonna leave the room, and I want you to just do like you singing in the mirror or in the shower. So we leave, and you just hear just going crazy. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, you know what I mean? And
All right, Tara.
but she's still like, you know, when you young, you kind of insecure in your skills and your abilities, and she still was like, I don't know, it was all right. But then when we finished the record, she was like, whoa, I didn't know you can make me sound like that. So, and you know, that record alone, like that's another one of those ones where it's just like turning the negative into a positive. It's like, I'm good now. So, you know.
There's one part where you talk about, you know, starving as pretty much starving as a kid. You're not going to be starving as an artist.
Right.
That's a great comparison, because most artists, especially the passionate ones, there's starving artists just because they're dressed nice, they invest, they got money for studio time, they got money to do you know, the graphics and all that stuff. They're still starving at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, when I first moved out here, the first year, like, I legit, for every meal was like oatmeal and canned beans, like canned black beans. I would go to Food for Less and just stock up, because I couldn't really, you know, it's like it was either eat good or go to the studio. So you just gotta, when you trying to get on, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know. So
I totally respect that. As far as, now that you mentioned getting on, Billy Knight, man, he takes so many artists on these promo. I have a little list right here, and I even mentioned, I think when I sent you the notes, I get tired of just saying it. You went to Sacramento, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, Fresno, Palm Springs, Bakersfield, Ventura, Los Angeles, San Diego, Scottsdale. How was that? Talk about being put on. What was that
dope.
like?
First of all, shout out to Billy, because in this game, in this industry, genuine people, like it ain't a lot of them, and he one of the real ones. You know what I mean? He's definitely a light bearer. But yeah, like I randomly reached out. In fact, I found him through my homie DJ Who, he's a Dago cat too. And he was like, "Yo, man, like you should reach out to Billy Knight. Like he does these tours." So I sent him some tracks, and I think he was on the tour at the time. And he didn't get right back to me. I was like, man, like I don't think he was really digging it. And then he texted me early the next morning. He was like, yo, like I'm messing with this tough. Like let's do something. So we ended up doing the tour. We got the homie Yellow, who's from here. He actually works for TVE right now.
I know Yellow. Shout out to Yellow.
Shout out to Yellow, man. He actually shot a video with me. But he filmed the whole thing, and it was dope. I mean, I was sick the whole way.
What kind of sick?
I had strep throat.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was a nut. Like I went to, it was Thanksgiving, and I went to Bakersfield for Thanksgiving, and like my niece was sick, and I just wanted to go for the day, and then the tour comes, and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean. So I was sick, but other than that, like it was a great experience, and it kind of showed me like, yeah, this the life that I'm meant to live, because like I was like, I wanted to do that. I wanted to be on the road to do it.
When during your promo run, you were able to go back and host, is it Lux or Lux? How do you pronounce that? Luxe?
Lux.
Lux, where and you hosted there in your hometown. What was that like?
That was bananas, because first, shout out Kev King and KG24. That's the homies. They've been holding it down for the town for a minute, but it was just a blast, and it happened to be my sister's birthday too. So we kind of like tied them in, and you know we got hella drunk. You know what I mean? We really did it.
Were you still sick?
Yeah. I was like, I was sick the next morning. Though, but it was a blast, because like, you know, again, like Bakersfield made me, so it's like you go back and you've been through all of these things, and then you go back and perform, and it's just like, wow, like they showing you mad love.
Yeah, they're fucking with you.
Yeah, and then like everybody coming up and like, man, I'm proud of you. You putting on for the town, and it was love all the way around. You know what I'm saying? I get chills thinking about it. You know.
That's so awesome. with your following, you mentioned on Spotify you expressed that you have a long way for your ultimate goal. But then
Yeah.
I looked at your following and I'm like, that's my ultimate goal. Like the following he got right now, that's like my ultimate goal. And so, how long did it take for you when you started your Spotify account? Because that's Spotify, you have like over 75,000 or something like that, right?
Yeah. Oh man. When I started, I was at like because I dropped an album last year called Joshua Trees, and we was at like a couple hundred.
Yeah. See.
And so it's easy to get like discouraged because you like, how do I get fans? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, this is how I'm supposed to eat. So it was just a matter of just grinding and sharing your music. And then I was blessed to be able to work with other like artists that are above me as far as notoriety. So that definitely helped. And then, you know, Billy definitely helped because he showed me a few things of like, you know, just when to share stuff and hashtags with like that stuff is important. Like you can't just share it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, so then like, I picked up what I learned from him, and then I started just kind of like investigating myself on what worked, and then, you know, boom. I mean, again, like I got a ways to go. Like you look at like J. Cole and Drake and Kendrick, and they got like millions and millions, but, you know, looking at where I've come from, it at least tells me like I'll be there one day. You know?
Okay, picking up where I left off, discussing about the 957, what was that experience like? And you were mentioning you worked with C's on the Slap.
Yeah, well, it was definitely nerve-wracking because, again, I didn't really know what to expect. And, like, you know, Beto called me, like, a day or two before. He was like, you know, come through. We're going to do this. And so I got there, and I was nervous. But then, like, when you start getting around the people, it was cool. And C's on the Slap was there. He's a dope producer. What up? And then he had brought Jay Bucks, who's a dope MC. So we went up there, spit a written, and then he had this little exercise after that where he hold up a word, and you got to, like, freestyle using a word. But it actually, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm not really that much of a freestyler. That's why I was nervous, but it was dope. Like I finished the verse, so.
Yeah, I like how he holds up the words because you don't know what he's gonna put up. So you're just like, what? Like in your head, you don't got enough time to be like, really, vanilla? Okay, and you just drop it really quick. But yeah, shout out to Betha Perez for putting that together, and shout out to you for being a dope artist and just showing up over there because I know people, they contact the stations. How can I get put on? How can I get put on? What could I do? What can I do? And then when it comes to showing up and people don't show up, it's like that's on them.
Yeah,
so.
he actually gave like a little speech about that before because he was kind of mad. He was like, I was dependent on you, and this is like radio station stuff, so it's like you can't just flake on that. You know?
It's not like just like this kind of stuff or just some quick stuff. It's real stuff where there's people upstairs. He created that actual segment because for artists to actually get their foot in the door without having to come out of the pocket, so artists need to appreciate those types of doors that are being opened for them and show up, shit.
And the thing about it too is he puts on for Dago music scene heavy, so it's like just the respect, you know what I'm saying? Just out of respect, you gotta be there.
I also came across another video you did paying homage to the homeless people and to this veteran. I would probably cry a little bit because I get like emotional when it comes to the homeless. The other day I was at a light. I coincidentally, I like ran an errand. I got some dog food. I forgot to take it home. And then I was at a light and there was a homeless guy and I told my cameraman we had just left here and I was like, give me your taco. And he looked at me like, what do you give me your taco? Because I bought him some food. But I rushed him to come over here so we could stage the section and I was like, I'll get you another taco. Give me your taco. So, but I looked at his hand. He already had money out that he was going to give the homeless guy. And I was like, you don't give me that too. So I got my drink, the taco, that. And I looked down because this homeless guy had 2 dogs with him. And I was like, give me the dog food quick. Throw everything out of the bag. So he turned the grocery bag upside down. I ripped the food open, pouring food in there. And the guy had like one eye. And he was a vet. But I was just like, you know, get over here. And that night, yesterday I went home and I started doing research on you and I came across that. I was almost in tears. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop this because it's making me think of the guy with the dogs and stuff. But
I mean, that was like one of the first, when I moved out here, it was one of the first things I noticed, like especially like downtown Tent City and then in OB, it's a lot too. And it blew my mind that like, you know, these cats, they go overseas and they put their life on the line fighting for like everybody else's freedom. And then they come home and they living worse off than they was when they was at war. I just don't understand that. And it's like the same people that's like, support our troops, don't want to support them homeless troops. They talking down on them and looking down on them. So I just felt like it was a topic that ain't really been touched on in hip hop. And then again, like living here and experiencing that was just like kind of mind blowing. I thought the only places that was like that was like LA.
Like
Skid
Skid
Row.
Row and stuff. No, we got our
It's
Skid
everywhere.
J and 17th downtown.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a trip, and it's
We got
like
a
you
Skid
see
Row
these
too.
signs, and they just like, you know, former vet hungry will anything will help. Like that's just like, man, that's the ultimate desperation.
Yeah.
And so I, you know, and then that be like, I sat on that for like a year because I knew I wanted to write something that was like deeper and more meaningful.
Yeah.
And then I was driving home from OB, and you know, when right before you get on the 8, it was a dude with a sign, and he was like, anything will help, even weed. And the weed part was just like,
It's real.
it's
though.
real,
It's
because like
real.
my nerves and I'm
yeah.
stressed, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, that's what I'm gonna
Here
write
you
about.
go.
Right.
Here you go.
Keep some of that good
Yes.
and help ease the pain. And it's straight up, and it's like, and I appreciated him being honest too. Like he could have easily been like, I need to feed my kid, and then went and got some liquor. Like
Oh, yeah.
the fact that you was real about it, all right, I'm gonna really try to help you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get it, you know, I've never struggled to that level, but I get struggling, and like
That you've been hungry.
yeah, and that's just a soft spot for me.
Yeah, me as well. Well, salute you for that. I also wanted to touch base on one of your other songs, because you have like this Pac meets. I'm a Killer Priest is one of my good friends,
Oh, yeah.
and he's just like a thinker, and
Yeah.
like the stars and the moons,
Right.
and so you have like a Pac meets Priest kind of like
I
vibe
appreciate
to a
that.
lot of your songs.
Definitely influence.
And I can't recall the song because I was researching the hell out of you for the past like all week. I have it right here though. Oh yeah, it was Somewhere in Ocean Beach. That's what
Yeah.
it was before you had did the version of the Star
the
Trek looking
lyrics,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, like, and I just had seen the cover of the actual album cover and stuff like that, and I was closing my eyes and like, man, this guy is Pac meets
I appreciate
Miss
that.
Priest, but you seem like a very political person.
Yeah.
Where are you at right now with what's happening in Charlotte, you know,
Oh.
and like, where are you on politics? Let's get political.
I'm you know what? I'm really today was a little bit rough for me because like I'm an empath too, so I pick up on people's energies, and you could just like even right after the election, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It was just like, you know, now ICE and all of this crazy stuff is getting involved, and you can just feel the nervousness. But today was just like, it just kind of made me pissed because like I'm going through my news feed and my followers and all my social medias, and it's like the same people that was so mad and were going on rants about Kaepernick, they silent. They not saying nothing about this.
Yes.
And people are actually getting hurt and dying, and it's just like the hypocrisy
Yeah.
right now, just unbelievable. It's a double standard, and I'm not pointing it at one race. Like I got white people that are like my family, so I'm not saying, you know, I'm just saying the people that are some of the people in power, and then the people that think like that is just, I don't get it. I don't see how you think that that's gonna make the country a better place by, you know, trying to put your kind of people on a pedestal and stepping on everybody else. And it's just like, are we in 1937 right now?
No,
like, you know,
not
I'm
anymore.
like,
Times have changed.
it's crazy. And it's like every time, like when it's a black protest, we're rioters, we're thugs, and this and that, and then they come in when they got torches and all this other stuff, they're protesters.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
cars. Today, I think 19 were hurt. 19 people were hurt. One person was ran over and
Yeah.
killed. Like, it's sloppy, but it's not. They're not having the cops out there with
Nah.
all the gear, and you see a few things getting tossed in the air, like a few probably cans of pepper spray or
Right,
whatever, and
right.
bombs, but nothing like how all these other protests for people that have been wrongly murdered and stuff, like
Yeah.
wrongly things for no reason just shot, and all of a sudden people are just getting together to support the loss of somebody
Right.
and something positive, and all of a sudden all these cops and everything come in their riot gear, but for something like this, it's like you said, you don't see
You don't
it on
see
your
nothing.
timeline. You don't hear about it on the, well, you hear about it faster on the news than all the other stuff that's been happening out here, but
Exactly, and it's
Yeah.
and again, like I'm not throwing a blanket statement on white people, because there's white people who are fighting a good fight too. So we're not saying that. I'm talking about the racist people. That's, you know, it's just like, that's stupid. Like, grow. Like we in a new era, and just not to go too long on it, but like my dad told me, like when Barack got elected, he was like, watch, it's gonna set the country back like a decade, because those closeted racists gonna feel like they
Yeah.
need to voice this uncomfortable for them. So he's like, well, they got black people got the power now, so I can say how I really feel. And so that's what you're seeing now. And it's like, it's unbelievable to me, but whatever, you know, just do, as an individual person, just do what you can to make your life and the people around you better, and then that's how you get change.
Yep, that's exactly how you get change. And by me not bringing up politics because I don't want to upset you, it's already not
I
on
get
the
worked up,
timeline.
you know what I'm saying?
So you know what I mean? Just gonna put it on the timeline. Well, before we close up, I want to talk about your upcoming projects we mentioned. And we're back. So you were giving a shout out on the Sleeping in English? Or?
Yeah, it's like, cause like again, like a lot of my album is like storytelling. So it's from my childhood through high school up to when I moved here, and like we had like all these skits. And so I had one called "A Sleeping English" where I'm rapping from the perspective of being in class, falling asleep, and then I had my homeboy J Nag, shout out J Nag, and my homie K Nance. We kind of just like we walking through the hallways, and then they asking me I hoop. So he's like, how many points you gonna get tonight? Yada yada yada. So it's like I tried to play off the whole Wonder Years thing,
Yeah.
and just take like different episodes from my life and put them in the song.
So is it a whole album? Like the Wonder Years is a whole album?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I legit recorded like 35 songs just for that. So I gotta narrow that down to like 13, 14.
Yeah.
What I might do is just keep, do like not season 1, but like do 1 and 2.
Oh,
and
yeah.
do, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, people Future be releasing like 4 albums a year.
You can
So
release one or two a year at least.
and just keep it going. But we'll see. Because I get creative and I change like what I want to talk about. So I don't know those.
I was just gonna say that you seem like not only a great lyricist, but also a visionary as well. So that's like the double threat, and then the triple threat is he's gonna go somewhere. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're gonna head next door and we're gonna hit some one-on-one questions.
Yeah.
Be sure to stay tuned, and we'll be right back.